battlefield, once filled with the clash of steel and the screams of the dying, now stood eerily silent. The only sound was the howling wind, carrying the stench of death and decay across the shattered land. Above it all, Amara and Set loomed, their celestial forms radiant and terrible, their mere presence shaking the very fabric of existence. The moment their divine gazes swept over the field, Daemonweaver's control over the army of corruption shattered. The ether-born abominations, twisted warriors forged from shadow and void, shrieked as their forms wavered, their soulless eyes turning upward in terror. One by one, they dissipated, vanishing into nothingness, leaving behind only the blood-soaked earth and the corpses of the fallen. A wave of awe and fear swept through the remnants of the combined armies of Set and Amara. First, there was disbelief, as if their mortal minds could not comprehend the sight of the gods themselves standing upon the battlefield. Then, as the divine presence burned away all doubt, they fell to their knees, weapons cast aside, hands clasped in reverent submission. The high priests and priestesses of both deities stood among them, their faces etched with both awe and terror. Isolde Valkyria, high priestess of Amara, pressed a trembling hand to her chest, her lips parting in a breathless whisper. By the light, they are truly here. Varian Solkar, high priest of Set, clenched his fist over his heart, his voice shaken despite his years of unwavering faith. Judgment has come at last. At the center of it all, Daemonweaver knelt in the dirt, her breath ragged, her body battered and drained. The loss of Lothinia's influence had left her feeling hollow, as if some fundamental part of her existence had been torn away. She should have felt free. Instead, she felt empty. The gods turned their attention upon her, their combined power pressing down upon her like the weight of the heavens themselves. Set's voice was a storm rolling across the battlefield like thunder upon the mountains. Your corruption has been purged. The shadow that bound you has been broken. Amara's gaze was softer, but no less unwavering. Yet you have wrought great suffering. Your sins are countless, your hands stained with innocent blood. You must answer for them. Daemonweaver let out a low, bitter laugh, though it hurt to do so. Answer? She rasped, tilting her head back to meet their gazes. And how would you have me do that? Bow before you? Beg for forgiveness? Set's expression darkened, but Amara raised a hand to still him. No, child, we offer you a choice. Her golden eyes burned into Daemonweaver's soul, and for the first time there was not just power in them, but sadness. Face judgment for your sins or accept exile into the void. The words hung in the air, heavy with divine weight. Murmurs rippled through the assembled soldiers, some eager for her execution, others watching with wary silence, as if unsure if any mortal punishment could be enough for the woman who had nearly unleashed hell upon the world. Daemonweaver exhaled slowly, her gaze dropping to the crimson-stained earth beneath her hands. Judgment or exile. One would see her destroyed, her soul weighed and stripped away, her existence reduced to nothing beneath the hands of gods she had once served. The other would see her cast into the abyss, left to rot in the cold emptiness of the void where Lothinia had once ruled. Neither was acceptable. Daemonweaver's fingers curled, summoning what remnants of power she could still grasp. It was a flickering ember, so much weaker than before, but it was hers. Her lips curled into a faint, defiant smile. "You may have taken my goddess," she murmured, "but I am not yours." Before Set or Amara could react, she vanished, a shuddering ripple of darkness folding around her, her form slipping into the void between worlds. The gods lunged, their power flaring, but the shadows swallowed her whole, and then she was gone. For the first time in an age, the gods were silent. Set's brows furrowed, his grip tightening upon the hilt of his sword. "That power," he muttered, his voice edged with something dangerously close to unease. Amara's expression remained calm, but her golden gaze shimmered with a trace of something deeply troubling. She should not have been able to escape us. Varian Solkar stepped forward, his voice uncertain. "My lord Set, shall we pursue her?" Set's jaw tightened, his gaze lingering upon the faint traces of shadow where Daemonweaver had stood. "No," his voice was grim. "She is gone, and I do not know where she has gone to." The gods stood a moment longer before, one by one, their forms began to fade, their divine presence dissipating like the last rays of the dying sun. Amara's voice was soft, almost sorrowful. "This is not over." And then they were gone. As the last traces of divine radiance faded, the battlefield was left in stunned silence. The armies of Set and Amara slowly rose from their knees, their gazes drawn toward the empty space where Daemonweaver had vanished. Many sighed in relief, yet others exchanged uneasy glances. For all the destruction they had suffered, for all the lives lost, there was no true victory here. The gods had come. The Dark Queen had fallen, and yet she had escaped. The priests and priestesses turned away, beginning the solemn task of blessing the dead, of preparing the fallen for burial and remembrance. The warriors sheathed their swords, their hearts heavy with the weight of all they had endured. The siege was over, but deep down they all knew this war had only just begun.